Listen, some of y'all ladies gonna have to settle. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but listen, everybody can't have a perfect man out here.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amaomi, aka Petite Diva, and in this video we're discussing a statement that a man made where he said some women will have to settle for some men whether they like it or not.
Listen, some of y'all ladies gonna have to settle. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but listen, everybody can't have a perfect man out here. It ain't even enough of us around, like, let's be honest. So at the end of the day, we can go ahead and put that 50-50 conversation to rest, because every woman ain't gonna get 80, 20, 100, 0, whatever y'all thinking is gonna be 60, 40. Some of y'all gonna have to go 50-50, and shit, y'all might gotta go 60-40 on your end with the man, just to be happy at the end of the day. Like, let's be realistic. Come on now. Somebody gonna have to settle, man. That's all I'm saying. All the straight men that's left in the world, a lot of them is in, a lot of them married. What do that leave left? Everybody can't have they cake and eat it too. Like, you can't have the best of the best. Sometimes you gotta just go for what you got and be happy and be grateful, because you can have nothing at the end of the day and be miserable. Come on now. J. Cole said, love yours. I gotta take this in consideration.
So in his video, he talks about the fact that there are not enough men for women, and how women will just have to like settle with any man they can get, that they might even have to do the 50-50, they might even have to do 60-40 or 70-30 with the woman taking the larger share. And you know, when they say 50-50 or 60-40 or 70-30, they mean the financial responsibility, while every other thing is 100% on the woman. And he made this statement because he said that there are not enough heterosexual men for women, and that most of them are either behind bars or married, and that women just have to take what they can get. Any which way, a lot of people had something to say about his video and his statements.
40. Some of y'all gonna have to go 50-50, and shit, y'all might gotta go 60-40 on your end.
Or we could do 100% by ourselves without the added stress, because you are already doing 100% in that type of relationship. Because whenever people talk about 50-50, 60-40, when men talk about that, they are only talking about money. They're only talking about the financials. If me, right now, by myself, I'm paying 100% of the bills, and I am doing the cooking, and I am doing the cleaning for myself, why would I get in a relationship where that man's not going to add nothing to my life, and I'm going to semi-split the bills, but yet do all of the other work? Because ask those men who's going to do the cooking. Ask them who's going to do the cleaning. Yeah. All right.
Listen, some of y'all ladies gonna have to settle. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but listen.
This is so funny. I'm having a conversation with my sister yesterday. My sister, she's real quiet, but when she says stuff, it's really smart, you know? We were talking about how women have been like fast tracking through life, and like all the women that I know are successful and they have their stuff together, and struggle finding good men because there's just a lack of good men, and how women are just growing rapidly, but men seem to just be very stagnant. And she says that it's because this is what was supposed to happen. This needed to happen. Because if men continue to skyrocket the way women have been for the past like 5 to 10 years, then men would have always been ahead of us and we would have never caught up. And so now women are not only catching up, but they're surpassing. And it is creating a world where there's the equality that we were looking for. The problem here is that men don't realize that what is happening is we are now becoming equals, meaning that there must be equals in the relationship, they must be equals at home, if we are going to be equals professionally, financially. But eventually, things like this will start to happen where men are going to have to either, one, decide we need to get it together and step it up, or in order for them to settle down with somebody, they are going to have to start picking up the slack at home and in relationship. Because I think what a lot of men believe is that, and I believe this, I'm gonna be honest, like when I heard this message, if I would have heard it a year ago, I would have been like, he's talking to me. I gotta settle. Like, he's talking to me, I do gotta settle. I'm just gonna settle. I used to say the same thing. There's not enough good men out there, so we're gonna have to settle for less value men. But the reality is, like, you actually don't have to. You can be single. And this year I realized, like, oh, I could just be by myself and I could be happy and I could actually probably be happier than other people that are in relationships. Anyways, when she said that, when she was saying like this is how things needed to happen for us to finally become equals, something just like really, it like softened my heart a bit. Like knowing that what is happening now is going to make a better life for the women after me. Like my I have a daughter, like when she starts dating, she's gonna have either better quality men in a financial way or better quality men in an emotional way, because men know that they're not gonna be able to do this anymore.
Go for what you got and be happy and be grateful, because you can have nothing at the end of the day and be miserable.
The fact that motherfuckers really think that single equals miserable is sad as fuck. As a person that's experienced 5 committed relationships, all of which I had to exit stage left in order to save myself from misery, this time around realizing that I am the happiest single, and every single time that I have been single, I was truly at my happiest. And that I only wanted to be in relationships because of lust and because of programming of people actually making me believe shit like this, that somehow your self-worth is tied to a motherfucker wanting you. I would gladly spend the rest of my days alone and getting to my bag, getting to my freedom, getting to my dream life, because I realized that a husband, a man, is not the ultimate goal for my life. They'll be lucky if they get to come along for the ride, okay? Okay. But if a man come in my life and tries to get in the way of where the fuck I am going, which happened to me numerous times, they gotta get the fuck, okay? Because I conquered my lust. Lust was the reason why I felt like I needed a guy, okay? But once I conquered that lust demon, I don't even date no more. Like, you gonna have to catch me. You can catch me if you can. Okay, you gonna have to spiritually align with me. Okay, if you ain't spiritually aligned with me and what I got going on my path, you don't even got access. But y'all ain't ready for that conversation.
Some of y'all ladies gonna have to settle. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but listen.
Yeah, so sorry to bust your bubble, your very self-inflated bubble, but you're not being the bearer of bad news. You're actually being the bearer of bad lies.
Everybody can't have a perfect man out here. It ain't even enough of us around. Like, let's be honest.
Like, does anybody else, and by else I mean women, find it so horribly ironic that he refers to himself as like one of the perfect men, but in the same breath he's desperately trying to convince women to lower our standards so more dusty bums like him could have access to us?
At the end of the day, we can go ahead and put that 50-50 conversation to rest, because every woman ain't gonna get 80-20, 100-0, whatever y'all thinking is gonna be 60-40. Some of y'all gonna have to go 50-50, and shit, y'all might gotta go 60-40 on your end with the man.
Most often than not, the men who are trying so desperately to convince women to do 50-50, or like he says 60-40, or to settle for less, or be convinced that there's not enough good men to go around, are usually the same men who cannot afford to be actual men and do the providing, or they're the same men who, you know, are feminine as hell and they want the princess treatment for themselves, you know, as he kind of low-key stated. Or they're the same men whose dads were not in their lives, and so they were not properly taught how to be men, because real men know providing is the number one thing that you can do as a man. Now, in some cases, and it seems like it's the case in his case, some men are just unfortunate looking, very unfortunate looking, with a rotten ass personality, and they realize that they can't get the women that they want.
Everybody can't have their cake and eat it too. Like, you can't have the best of the best. Sometimes you got to just go for what you got and be happy and be grateful, because you can have nothing at the end of the day and be miserable.
And also, another reason that men are convinced that women will have to settle for less is because they literally need women. Women don't need men. We're not like them. You know, we're not like them. Women know that. Some very few men know that.
Some of y'all ladies gonna have to settle.
Yeah, I don't know about all that, but what I do know is I just found out my great uncle died. I thought he was dead years ago. I'm talking about 15, 20 years ago. That should kind of tell you how much we communicated. His kids are all in jail, and he died at the hospice in the homeless rescue mission, alone. Last year, my mom's brother, he died. And he was born in 1963, 64, and nobody discovered his body until 3 days later. He was a heavy drinker. He used women. He used everybody. And he fell over in the bathroom, hit his head on the toilet. He died. He died in his apartment alone. He wasn't married. He had one kid that he didn't help raise, and he died alone. But I'm my mom's only child, and I just drove 13 hours to come and see her. Seems like the women ain't the ones that need to be worried.
Listen, some of y'all ladies gonna have to settle.
So I've genuinely watched like 100 responses to this video, and I've loved every single one. I've reposted some if you want to go check them out, but I just want to add one more thing like that I haven't seen too many people talking about, but this, for me, this was like the cherry on top of the sundae. This was the chef's kiss for me about this whole thing. Because I obviously ran to the comments, right? And I was like, okay, like, what's everyone saying? Like, this is hilarious. There's 8,000 comments of women saying, like, it's fine. Like, I'm good. I would rather be single. Like, you're telling me to settle, but no, thank you. Like, I'm good. That was basically the sentiment of every single woman in these comments. 8,000 women in his comments saying some version of this. And this man looked everybody in those comments dead in the face and said, why do y'all keep saying that? I don't know why. That's just the funniest part of it all for me. Like, why do y'all keep saying that? Because it's true. Because it's true. Because we want you to know that it's true. This is how deep the entitlement goes too. Like, he's like, no, but why do y'all keep saying that? Like, what do you mean? Like, exactly what they said. Exactly what they said. They said, no, thank you. He said, you're going to have to settle. And the women said, no, thank you. And now he's mad. He's like, why do y'all keep saying that? Like, they shouldn't be saying that. What do you mean? Like, bleach and tone. Bleach and tone.
Bleach and tone. Like, bleach and tone.
We don't have to settle. Like, I just love that he can't get that through his head. Like, he's like, no, but wait, I was told something different. You know, men just think different than you, and don't forget that they're always projecting. Like, and no matter how many times they hear it straight from the women's mouth, that we don't actually need to settle, that at the end of the day, we have brought everything to our own table already without a single one of y'all's help. And they're like, no, you haven't. What do you bring to the table? You're gonna have to settle, da-da-da. Nope, my table's set. And I'm only going to invite somebody who brought something to share. You can't come empty-handed anymore because women don't depend on y'all for resources. Simple. Once you take that out of the equation, women don't have to settle. It's no more 50-50. It's y'all that don't know basic life skills. All women had to learn how to do was work because that's all that men do. That's all that men bring to the table, maybe. When somebody is already bringing 100% to their own table, you're not going to tempt them with 0, even with 50. They already have everything they need. So that's why they keep saying that. I hope this helps. Like, in a more serious and disturbing way, it just shows how much really, like, men don't take women seriously. Like, they could literally have 8,000 women in the comments saying the same exact thing, and they will just be like, why do y'all keep saying that? Because that's not what I think is true, so you're not supposed to think it's true either. That is such demented thinking, and it's all the more reason for you not to settle. This is what all women have been collectively realizing. It's not even the settling that's the problem. It's literally not being treated or thought of as a human being. There's just nothing you can do to convince them. Like, literally, they would rather call themselves and play a devil's advocate than to listen to the literal 8,000 women in their comments. The only thing that he had to say was, why do y'all keep saying that? Like, as if 8,000 women came into the comments and said that for no reason. Like, what do you think is the reason? Like, why do you think they keep saying that? Anyways, good luck to you on your journey of trying to convince women that they need to settle for the scraps underneath their own perfectly set table. Because I know you have the audacity. So Godspeed to you, sir.
Listen, some of y'all ladies gonna have to settle.
We have. Y'all can't read a room. We've been settling. That's why we're not going for that shit no more. I don't get what y'all not understanding. What are you bringing to our lives at this point? Drama, lies, heartbreaks, cheating, STDs, half of the bills, and subpar D? Y'all can keep that. Y'all get so much more out of a relationship than we do. So y'all get a wife, mama, babysitter, maid, chef. Y'all get all that shit in one, and what are we getting? Lies and half the bills? See, a smart man knows that a woman holds more value in a relationship than y'all do. So it's always your loss. It's always your loss. And to be honest with you, some of the best dates I've ever been on have been with my girlfriends where I paid my own bill. So what I suggest y'all do is start dating each other. Shit is working for us. I love it over here. And y'all want to be around your boys so bad anyway. Go fuck them.
Listen, some of y'all ladies gonna have to settle. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but listen.
So we have now reached the moment in the male loneliness epidemic where they are outwardly admitting, hey, I know I'm not shit. And I know I'm not capable of being more than anything other than shit. So you gotta settle. The part they miss, though, is the part which my side of TikTok has been screaming, which is, we're okay being single. You know, there's this quote of like, I have found peace and happiness with myself. And unless a man can raise that peace and happiness, why would I be with him? Why would I settle for a man that's going to do nothing but make me upset, stress me out day after day, when I am perfectly content being on my own? Like, I got hobbies, I've got friends, I've got pets. Does that mean, like, would I love a man? Oh, hey, thumb. Would I love a man that's capable of not only self-love, but outward love, who's not scared to show that he loves his partner and is okay with opening up emotionally, and not only opening up emotionally when it's time for him to be angry, but like this man outwardly said, he just said it out of his mouth. There's not a lot of us that are actually good. Most of us know we're not good. So please settle. Please settle, because I'm so tired of being lonely. If you don't settle, I'm just going to keep being lonely. You got to settle. How much longer do you think we have to hold out for them to finally get the message that maybe they should at least try to be better than a piece of shit?
Listen, some of y'all ladies gonna have to settle. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but listen.
What precisely are you suggesting that the women settle for? Because every time that a man says something like this, you're basically telling her to settle for struggle, misery, pain, being cheated on, being lied to, probably by somebody who is broker than her, less talented than her, probably dumber than her, and needs her more than she will ever need him. And all that y'all come to the table with is dick, a PS5, and baby mama drama. That's what y'all want them to settle for? That sounds like hell on earth. That sounds like a updated version of the bullshit that our grandmothers had to go through. And it sounds like we're in 2024. They don't have to do that anymore. All the shit that you're offering, what else do you have? What else do they need you for? Because anything that you can offer at the base level for those who generally have this mentality, she can get on her own. Sex, plentiful. And also, there are toys. And the toys do it better than y'all do. 2, kids. Sperm banks. They've kind of made y'all obsolete. She can skip the middle step. Skip all the aggravation with you. And just go straight to that. Or she has a queer friend. She can use that. What else do you have? Money? Nah, you probably don't, because otherwise, why are you trying to get her to settle? Men with money, like stable money, don't tend to say this type of shit that often. And the 50-50 thing, that is a relationship by relationship thing, and now I'm not getting into that fucking argument. But very simply, this overall point would be, she doesn't have to settle for y'all that won't reach her level.
Ladies, this single man is asking all single women to do just one thing. Let's see if he's asking for too much.
Listen, some of y'all ladies gonna have to settle. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but listen, everybody can't have a perfect man out here. Let us be realistic. Come on now. Everybody can't have they cake and eat it too. Like, you can't have the best of the best. Sometimes you gotta just go for what you got and be happy and be grateful.
And he's just saying what women have been told for years, and that is for us to settle. The truth is that women have settled in the past. Some of us are only here because our mothers settled for our fathers. Back in the days when women couldn't own bank accounts, when women couldn't own homes, and they didn't want women to work, and they weren't getting hired in the workforce, women were settling for men. But women don't have to do that anymore. And that's why they want to get back to the quote unquote good old days. It's crazy to me that the thought never crossed his mind that a woman not choosing one of them is also an option. And for some women, a very good one. He really sat there with a straight face and say, pick a bad man or you're going to be miserable. As if being with a bad man isn't also miserable. We understand that nobody's perfect, and that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for effort, and some of you can only come to the table with money, and some of the times you don't even come with that. He's not telling you to settle, as if women have never been told to do so before. He's telling you to continue to settle, so some unqualified, unhealed, low-effort, bare minimum men can continue to get picked.
Listen, some of y'all ladies gonna have to settle. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but listen.
So these men agree. They agree that the only way that they would have access to a woman's life is if she settles for them. Because it is absolutely telling that these type of men are saying that some women are simply just going to have to be in the wrong relationship in order to be in a relationship at all. As if being single is not an option. As if a woman who knows what she deserves is asking for too much. But here's the thing. Women who have expectations and standards and stick to them are always going to be too much for men who do not want to put in the work to grow and heal and overall become a better human being. And again, men are smart. They know how they are treating you. They know how much effort they are putting into a relationship. And they are hoping that you do not have the self-love, self-confidence, self-worth, self-assurance to walk away. And now that we are also talking about this, women are also moving away from this idea that being single is bad. We are empowering each other to not settle. And there is absolutely no reason for why a woman should settle anyway, because at this point in time, we have access to all the resources that men do. We can also make our own money and get our own education, which are all forms of protection for us. The fact that there are men who need you to buy into this fear that being single is the worst case scenario for you to even consider choosing them should be enough proof for you to know how powerful it is to not settle.
Listen, some of y'all ladies gonna have to settle. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but listen, everybody can't have a perfect man out here.
But weren't we being told to pick better men? So it goes from pick better men to now just settle with the men that are here. So he says that there's not even enough perfect men around to satisfy all of us. But he also said, and I quote, "It's beyond us." So let me get this right. It's beyond y'all to do better, to be better, but it's not beyond you to tell us that we need to lower our expectations. If you were a good and honorable man, this video would not have been directed at women. It would have been directed at men. Because the last time I checked, there was a male loneliness epidemic. Single women are fine. He basically said that either we can settle for a man or we can just be alone and miserable for the rest of our lives. I don't know why y'all think being single is bad. Being single is not the end of the world. If anything, it's people getting into relationships and marriages that actually need to be alone because they are not ready for a relationship, let alone marriage. And it's not even just this particular guy making videos like this. There are so many men making videos basically telling us, hey, y'all need to settle. And honestly, it makes y'all look desperate. Y'all are getting on here marketing toxic relationships to us, and we are done with that. Y'all are getting up here, making videos directed towards women, trying to convince us to lower our standards. We've been taken advantage of. We've been hurt. We've been done wrong. We have been put through the ringer. And instead of y'all doing better, y'all told us to pick better. Not only did we pick better, we picked ourselves. And we're not worried about y'all no more. And now that's a problem with y'all too. So now y'all is stepping back and telling us, well, hey, actually, never mind. Don't pick better. Because y'all want to be picked. And y'all are not worth our time.
Listen, some of y'all ladies gonna have to settle. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but listen.
Or, and I want you to listen carefully, okay, when I say this. Or, we could be single. Because that's the best option. Like, nobody's so pressed to have a man in their life wreaking fucking havoc that we would just go out and just pick one up off the street. And then y'all project this whole misery and being lonely and all this stuff due to singleness. And I really do think that that's a male thing. Like, I don't think a lot of women are just super duper miserable. I think we have 1 week throughout the month where we're like, want a man. But that's it. The rest of the month we be chilling, you know, paying attention to our hobbies, going back to school and shit, getting degrees, focusing on promotions, doing extra training to get the promotions, all this other stuff. Like, we have so much stuff going on. Nobody's just sitting in the house just thinking like, oh man, I'll take anything that God brings me just to have a man, please. It's never that serious. Like me, myself, currently, I am happy as fuck by myself. I get to control everything that's going on in my home. There's nothing here stressing me out. There's no one here stressing me out. There's no one here expecting me to cook for them when I don't feel like cooking. There's nobody here trying to touch me when I don't feel like being touched. Why would I go out into the world and pick a man who is not going to come in here and make my life better? Why would I go out and pick a man that I had to settle for when I could just stay single? Settling is so much more of a hassle than being single. No. Just hang it up. Stop giving us this terrible ass advice. We're okay by ourselves, okay? All right, bye.
Y'all ladies gonna have to settle. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but listen, everybody can't have a perfect man out here.
And this is why I tell you ladies not to fall for cockroaches, not to be attracted to cockroaches. But these are the cockroaches that y'all ladies be attracted to. I keep telling y'all ladies, I have raid. I can get you some bug spray for the low. Okay? Right now it's going for 75 cents. For a man that think that you should settle for him, 15 cents. You can't miss it. 15 cents. I got you. Hit Poe up. I got you. Because for a man to think that a woman have to settle for who? Settle for you? No. When a man speak like this, it's because you know you are nothing as a man. You're probably not a man at all. Strawberry refresher. You feel what I'm saying? Starbucks elite employee purchases. And when a man say like, oh, you ladies got to settle, I'm going to tell you what just happened. You just had a situation with the woman and the woman cut you off. The woman didn't want to deal with you, right? And she was like, I'm not going to settle for you. You ain't good enough. And so you felt in your spirit like less of a man. So you come to the internet and you saying this, and no, absolutely not. Women should not and will not settle because then they're going to fall for a cockroach. Okay? Like you. So let's dive deeper into you. Okay? This is your clothing line. I don't know if you understand as an entrepreneur that when you have women that love your brand and love what you do and women that support your brand, you'll sell. You know what I'm saying? Like, woman will support. This video is bringing women down. You're telling women they have to settle for a man that ain't worth anything, right? You're telling women that they cannot have high standards, that they should not believe in a value, but you have a clothing line. And I do not believe in your value. You want me to pay $55 for a unisex Valentine's Day hoodie? $55? I can go to Marshall's and get a Tommy Hilfiger hoodie for like $20. Why would I buy it from you? You modeled this. Tenacious cream unisex $55 hoodie with an extra 50% off coupon. I still would not buy it from a TikTok shop. I still would not buy it. She modeled this. $55, still not buying it. $60 for just because it say first of all, Tenacious clothing, I would not buy that. It is nothing unique about Tenacious clothing. Nothing. When I think of clothing brands that's unique, I think of YSL, Saint Laurent. You feel what I'm saying? I'm thinking of Chanel. You feel what I'm saying? Dolce & Gabbana. I'm not one to support a black business. Matter of fact, I will support a black business, but not a black man who's running the business that's going to bring women down. Y'all ladies supporting this? Y'all going to support a man that's telling y'all to settle? He has a clothing brand and he don't respect women. Make that make sense. Now, you can say whatever you want about me. You can say, oh, you a bum. You don't get no girls. You biting, mind your business. Whatever y'all got to say, I really don't care. Because the fact of the matter is, everything I just said is facts. You cannot have a business without understanding that women are essential as customers. And then make a video bringing those same women down, degrading their value. Yeah, y'all got to hang this up. And I don't want free shipping. I don't want the hoodies. I don't want none of this. Like, I just looked at the clothing brand and was like, brother, ugh.
Listen, some of y'all ladies gonna have to settle. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but listen.
To those that responded to this video with succinct answers, props to you. Me, I'm not one of those motherfucking people. For one, men that make videos like this do nothing but project their own loneliness and their own loser mentality on the people. And at this point in time, there's nothing wrong with you owning the fact that you're a bum. Now, when it comes down to loser ass men like this saying, women, y'all have no choice but to settle, look your mother in the eye and ask her if your father was a result of her settling. And if you are the consequence of her settling. Because if your mom has told you she didn't like your dad, and yet here you are nothing but the result of her settling. And for you to fix your raggedy, crooked ass mouth to say, oh, women, y'all ain't got no choice but to settle. We do have a choice. We can just leave y'all the fuck alone. Men have such a hard time admitting that they are the reason that they are lonely. Y'all are so quick to say, well, women are the problem. Women holding you accountable means that we know that you can be better. But y'all always look at what we say as an attack because you were not mentally taught to understand that when people hold you accountable, that is not an attack. It's not even an expectation. We just see better in you. But y'all are so quick to label something an attack. That lets us know that you were probably just enabled your whole life. And women don't have time to raise you up to be her son that she has sexual access to. That's pretty much kind of sounding like your mom seeing you as her man, calling you her king, and you were only 7 years old. That's fucking weird. You want women to infantilize you, sexualize you, and expect you to be disrespectful and have weaponized incompetence and still say that we fucking love you. Are you fucking kidding me? Y'all don't want a woman that wants you out of happiness, out of love, out of joy, out of peace. You want a woman to want you because she's desperate and lonely. And a lot of women don't operate like that anymore. We just don't. Y'all have the running joke of calling single women potential cat ladies. Cats make you earn their love. Cats legitimately have way more loyalty than a trash ass man ever could. I mean, cats, disrespectful man. A cat, a loser. Cat, a guy that has weaponized incompetence. Cat, a guy with mommy issues and expects you to feed him from your bosom so that way he can feel some sense of attachment because he's too pussy to admit that he needs to grow the fuck up. You see what I'm saying? A lot of these loser ass men don't even want to admit, but the only piece of property that they ever have had was that desperate ass pick-me woman that was either willing to abandon her kids or even abandon her self-esteem because she has none. And the only way that she has self-esteem is if she's under a man.
Come on now. Somebody gonna have to settle, man. That's all I'm saying. All the straight men that's left in the...
Honest question. Why do women have to settle? Why do they even have to tolerate men? That's an honest question. Men, we're obsessed, man. We're like threatening women with loneliness and being an old cat lady and all of that. They're on their minding their own goddamn business. Did you know that the majority of women right now simply have standards that if you don't approach them and bring something of value, they're simply not interested in you? Why does that piss men off so much? Honest question. Why do women have to settle? Why can't we either bring enough to the table for them to say, okay, you bring enough value, instead of you bring a whole bunch of baggage and maybe, whatever's in your pants that you want me to put in my mouth or whatever it might be that your offer is. Your offer ain't that interesting. So the question is, why? Why the fuck do women have to settle? Why not just go, okay, I can handle everything on my own. I don't need you as a friend. Hell, you don't even want to be my friend. You're scared of the friend zone. So men aren't trying to be friends, right? So women have enough friends. They ain't lonely. All right, they got a machine in the nightstand that'll make her feel more amazing than you will. I mean, they like the smell of your cologne. They can buy that shit and sprinkle it on their... I mean, what are you bringing, man? I'm not trying to insult you personally, this dude. I'm not trying to insult the man watching this video. I'm asking an honest question. Why are men so hardcore bound to making women want to settle? Is it because y'all know you don't bring much? I mean, I didn't bring much when I started dating. I guarantee you that. I had to develop something so that my wife that I have now actually sees me as valuable. I didn't ask her to lower her standards. I raised mine. So an honest question to men. Why do women have to settle? Why can't you either get better or leave them alone? You know, being alone is not a threat to women. Maybe it isn't to men. So if you're the one that's afraid of being alone, maybe you need to work on yourself. Just a thought.
Listen, some of y'all ladies gonna have to settle. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but
When women settle, women flounder and men flourish. Men benefit exponentially from being in marriages and relationships with women, by having children with women. Women cannot say the same. In fact, their lives are more negatively impacted by marrying men and having children. Women are having longer, happier, healthier lives when they are remaining single and childless than ever before. They are not reliant on a man's financial means in order to live a life that they want or that they find meaning in or that they find purpose in. The same cannot be said for men. Men are experiencing a loneliness epidemic because, one, they don't have healthy, meaningful platonic relationships with their male friends. They are relying on women to get everything out of it for them. They are relying on their relationship with a woman to fulfill almost every single aspect of their life. And women don't have to have that. Not only do they not have to rely financially on a man, they also don't rely on that man to fulfill other needs that they have. They have meaningful and deep and purposeful friendships. Men cannot say the same. This is not 50, 60 years ago when women couldn't vote. Women couldn't open up their own line of credit. Women couldn't file for divorce. More women are college educated than men now, and they have their own financial means to live the life that they want. You don't have to have a marriage and children in order to lead a fulfilling and meaningful, worthy life. It's detrimental if they settle. Men fare better in almost every single aspect when they marry a woman and have children with her, and the opposite is said for women. The juice simply is not worth the squeeze anymore. Women are not getting the same things out of marriage that men are getting. They're no longer willing to settle. They're realizing that they don't have to do that, and they're knowing that if they do, it negatively impacts them in almost every single aspect of their life.
His video and statement triggered a lot of people, and people were calling out his nonsense take. A lot of people said you are talking a lot of BS. Somebody actually left a comment on his video and said that people are not, women are not looking for perfect people. They're just looking for somebody that is good and treats them right. And he made a video to reply that comment.
So in other words, you're gonna settle, right? I mean, think about it. There's no perfect man or perfect woman on the planet, period. Like, nobody's perfect. No perfect child, no perfect grandparent, etc., etc. So in some way, shape, or form, you're going to give up something to get something that you like, right? Because you might get a man that got a lot of money, but, you know what I mean, he don't put it down in the bed. That's settling, right? In some way, shape, or form. Or you might get a man that don't have a lot of money, but he can show you all the attention, love, and affection, never disrespects you, you know, shows other actions that might, you know what I mean, lead to a good man in the future, but he just don't got it together right now. That's settling. You know what I'm saying? You might just go for the handsome dude that ain't got no future just because he look good, could attract a lot of people, and he attracts you, turns you on, but he really don't got no plans of doing nothing, constantly in and out of, don't really got no future, don't want no future. That's settling, right? So think about it. Like, in some way, shape, or form, you gonna be settling. So now, since we got that out the way, realistically, right, there's no perfect person on the planet. I really want to know in the comments, what are y'all women's ideas of a perfect man for you if you're not settling? Like, what does not settling look like to you in a man? Please let me know, because I don't think there's a man on the planet that's going to hit on every category. Realistically, I really think y'all like delusional at this point.
So in the second video, you were still saying you are still settling, you are doing that and all whatnot. Anyway, my thoughts about his video and his statement, I think it's a rubbish take. And like everybody has said, I think it's a lot of BS. It's just an excuse for some men to act in a particular way and not live up to their responsibility, because they say you have to accept me as I am. So if I do this to you, just take it, because you're not going to find anybody better. You're not going to find anybody, because everybody is either behind bars or married and all whatnot. It's just a manipulative take, in my own opinion, and I don't think it's a healthy take that anybody, especially a guy, should have. And it's not something that women should believe, because this kind of statement might make a lot of women to accept a lot of behaviors just because they want to keep somebody happy, and because they think that there is nobody better outside, because one person or some people, because I know it's not the only one that thinks like that, or because some people think like this, and they are trying to manipulate women to accept a lot of rubbish behavior, in my own opinion. Anyway, I don't know what you guys think about this whole statement that he has made, and I would love to hear your own opinion about his statement. Do you think he's right, and that's what the world is right now? That's the situation in the world. Do you think women should learn to settle with people that might have questionable characters or behaviors just because there are no men outside, or there are not enough men for women outside? I would love to hear your own opinion about this whole discussion. So please leave your comments in the comment section so that we can get this discussion popping. Now, if you like this video, please give it the thumbs up. If you are not yet subscribed and you like videos such as this, please consider subscribing by clicking on the red button that says subscribe, and don't forget to click on the bell notification icon by the side so that you're notified anytime I upload videos. Now, with all that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.